African American women spend billions every year on black hair products. Even though they only make up 10% of the American population, they buy 70% of all wigs and extensions purchased here in the United States.
It's very important. They take their last dime to get their hair done. They go hungry before they let their hair go to look bad.
My journey into the world of black hair begins in Oakland, California, at the Black Hair Extravaganza.
Put your hands together. Somebody say, unleash the dragon.
When you look at her, it's like her crown. She's a queen, you know, so she needs like extra pieces and braids and big hair. It's like a crown.
I just feel, you know what I'm saying, your hair important. If your hair messed up, you feel me, brothers ain't gonna try to get at you, females gonna knock you, you feel me? Basically, you gotta have your hair tight.
What? And for the big sisters, we represent too. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? Come on. Come on, Ronnie. Show what you made out of, baby.
We express our beauty. In fact, the Bible speaks to us about our hair being a treasure. So it's just something we've always kept in our culture.
But with that huge market, who controls it? Where does the money end up? Where do the billions go? I decided to try to find out here at the Black Hair Extravaganza. Follow the money.
Thermometers for your heat style. You never use it? It's awesome.
Step 3. Apply the thermal straightening ball. Section the hair into...
We think the African American style is very big business.
Almost every week they change the style for hair.
Everybody wants to be a part of our market because we're the #1 consumer. We spend 10 to 1 on anybody in hair. In the retail market right now, majority of the retail stores are ran by Koreans. And more of the Korean stores that are ran by, the 90%, are supported 100% by black African money. It's so unfair, you know, that they take our money. But once again, part of it is our blame. We allow what happened.
Is this true that the Koreans dominate the black hair industry? What you're looking at is one of the Black Beauty Supply magazines that inform people who are interested in black hair products. All the ads and articles are about African Americans and their hair. And even though all the information is about blacks, half of this magazine is in Korean. And this magazine, Beauty Times, which is the #1 publication for black beauty store owners, is written entirely in Korean. It's here, inside Beauty Times, that I spot Dr. Tony Leno, a black hair expert who writes a monthly column for this magazine. A column which not even he can read. I contact him and he invites me to Los Angeles to learn more about the Southern California black hair industry.
Now where we are now, this is the famous Crenshaw corridor, where most of many of the elite black businesses are. Right here on the corner of 54th and Crenshaw, South Central Los Angeles. This is beautiful wigs. This is the Korean-owned hair store. They sell hair of all kinds. In your store here, what's percentage of your business is Afro-American?
About 100%. 99.9.
Okay. In other words, 99.9%.
99.9. Okay.
Then up here on these walls right here, these racks, all the way around are the hair that's used for weaves and for extensions.
Janet Jackson, they come over here, pick it up, virgin human hair. Vivica Fox, I saw her several weeks, then I cut in style for her. I've been knowing him a long time. Okay. Richard Pryor.
Yeah, that's Little Richard.
Yeah, Little Richard.
This city alone only had 10 beauty supply stores 20 years ago. Now there are over 100 Korean-owned beauty supply stores. Okay, you're looking at a typical beauty supply store, Korean-owned beauty supply store, but all these products have one common denominator. They are all aimed at the Afro community. One of the things that the Koreans are doing now, and they predicted this themselves, back in 1999, and it's happening now. Since they control 80% of the distribution of Afro hair care products, especially professional products that are sold in beauty supply stores only, it only stands to reason they can control what gets distributed. They are creating their own line of products or buying out existing black-owned companies. I don't see a reversal of this at all. It's just getting deeper and deeper.
With the Koreans controlling the retail and wholesale distribution, they're slowly making inroads into taking over the black manufacturers.
We're going to Kazuri Products. They are a black-owned manufacturer of hair care products, but specialize primarily in curling irons, pressing combs, and the stove heaters that you heat the irons up in.
This is Lucky White, who owns Kazuri along with her husband.
We have been in business for over 30 years, and we are a black company selling to black beauty supplies and also to black hairstylists, and we make a quality product. Everyone look at our product as being the best in the industry. However, since the Asians have been here, they are cutting us out, telling us that our product is not in demand any longer. The Korean connection. About 3 years ago, they started to blacklist our product. As they brought their own products in, they started to manufacture curling irons, and they duplicate everything that you manufacture. They would duplicate it, and then they start to slowly cut back on orders, and then they tell you that your product is not in demand. So they would make something that's very similar that looked like ours, and then they try and sell the consumer on this product.
Can you show me some products from Kazuri?
Kazuri?
Kazuri products.
This is Kazuri product.
This is all Kazuri.
This is A1.
So you have maybe 3 Kazuris, and then the rest.
This Kazuri, this A1 product, this Stella.
Stella.
Yeah.
Who makes?
3 brands.
Who makes Stella?
You know, they are resale the wholesalers.
And they make this product.
Actually, they make a copy, you know, for the other brand, you know, like Kazuri, like A plus, but their brands, you know, they are no good quality.
Not good quality.
No, just copy for the others.
They are really trying to shut us out of the industry.
They're telling you they will no longer distribute your product in these stores?
They tell us that our product is not in demand any longer, but that's just an excuse not to purchase our products.
This is actually a T-bumper by Kazuri. I use it all the time.
This is the place to be, a black hair salon in San Jose, California.
Kazuri products are much in demand. We use them here. We have a setup here. We also have one here. We use their spritz as well. We use their whole lineup, so they are in high demand.
We have to look at saving our community as well as saving this industry. We are a nation within this nation, and we're just giving everything away. And we cannot do that any longer. We have to stand up and fight. We are beautiful black people. If we have to wear our hair short, so be it. Let's wear it short, but let's get this under control where we control the industry and not let someone else come in and then set up and take all our revenue out of the community.
But can Mrs. White and other black manufacturers fight back against this? New Star Beauty Supply, the largest wholesaler of black beauty supplies on the West Coast. New Star also manufactures their own products for sale to the ethnic market. Mr. Moon is manager of New Star.
We are the #1 biggest the ethnic distributor.
In the West Coast?
Yes.
You guys are?
Mm-hmm. We trying to like one-stop buying now.
We took them as being a friend, and that they would not come in and try and take over the whole industry, but that's what they have done. And they got in, now they control it, and they are really, boasting about it, and they are talking about it, and then they are laughing at us all the way to the bank.
How do the Korean retailers get the money to start up these beauty supply stores? To find out, I traveled to the University of California at Berkeley and spoke with Professor John Lee.
Many of the ones that started recently came from South Korea that was much more enriched. So by selling their farm or by selling their apartment, they could have this initial pot of money to start relatively small businesses in urban areas. Furthermore, they had encouragement, sometimes quite explicitly in terms of funding by relatives, friends, and other sorts of religious or whatnot networks to provide them with money to start their business. So it's fair to say that there are all sorts of formal and informal means by which Korean Americans and South Korean business people dominate the market and are implicitly unwilling to let competition challenge their dominance.
So the two magazines, they're all in Korean.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does that seem like fair business practice?
Yeah, well, as I said before, this is one of the mechanisms by which South Koreans and Korean American merchants ensure the domination of the market.
It's OTC. OTC.
Later, I learned that what we're seeing now, the Korean domination of the black hair industry, had its start back in the early 60s with the help of both the Korean government and the United States government. This is Chosun, one of the most respected newspapers in South Korea. And it's inside the archives of this newspaper that I discovered a document from 1965 in which the wig manufacturers in Korea convinced the Korean government to ban the export of raw hair, making it impossible for anyone to manufacture wigs from the highly desirable Korean hair population except for the Korean manufacturers themselves. And 6 months after the Korean ban on the export of hair, the United States government banned the import of any wig that contained hair from China. This ban on Chinese wigs virtually locked in the wig business for these South Korean merchants. So it seems that what we're seeing today, the Korean domination of the black hair industry, had its start with the help of both the Korean and the United States government almost 40 years ago.
You blow the whistle on what's going on, just like we are discussing now, and inform people. They'll be surprised and delighted too.
Well, I think people are informed, but I mean, black people as a whole, they just don't have much unity as Koreans do, or any other race. It just doesn't have much unity. As a whole, we don't stick together.
Well, you know, this is a new millennium, and people, if they look at the past, and perhaps they can deduce from that they can change the future based on the past.
They can, but the young people have to be enlightened. The black dollar needs to be spent with your black people as much as possible.
We kind of take each other for granted sometimes, but I think when things like this happen, we always seem to come together like other tragedies. And, you know, human nature allows us to do that.
We can come together for human tragedies, but when it comes down to the almighty dollar, that's not the case. They did not seem to pull together for the dollar.
Denny's Restaurant, Oakland, California. Here, members of the black beauty supply industry in Northern California have gathered to discuss the Korean domination of their industry and the possibility of creating an organization to take back the black hair industry.
Now, we used to have a total monopoly on this beauty business. Now we've lost. It's only about 2 or 3 of us in Oakland now, and it used to be nothing but us in Oakland purchasing these products.
Most of the beauty supplies in the Bay Area, Korean beauty supplies, they have organizations. And their organization, most of the time, they tell who to sell and who not to sell. Like 5 years ago or 4 years ago, when micro yak was so popular and so hot, they wouldn't sell to me. And the reason they wouldn't sell to me is like glamorous, and Ebony told them not to sell. And sometimes we used to order through Ahmed, you know, like Merit Beauty Supply, because they don't see.
They don't think you're black. The Koreans don't think you're
No,
black.
I mean, when they call me, they think that, you know, I'm a Korean store. You know?
Are you black or Asian? How do you feel about that? Are you black or Asian? I was like,
that's crazy.
What does that have to do with me purchasing a product from you?
So, since they can't sell it to us, why we can't sue them?
Thank you.
We have people that are able to get these hair products.
Right.
I think that's where we need to start. And then we go to the next level, because if they don't want to sell to you, they will figure out a way not to sell to you. A lawsuit will just make them even stronger-willed about it.
The way I'm looking at it, if you walked into Macy's, Macy's discriminated against you, what would you do?
Well, you know what? It's a whole different world. You have more. Okay.
If you don't tell me nothing, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Okay.
Lawsuits may get their attention. Bad publicity may get their attention, but you know what will get their attention? Money. If your money does not go to them and it goes to somebody else, and then once you start giving money, you start swaying the way they think.
Just a few months after this meeting, BOBSA is created, the Black-Owned Beauty Supply Association. Their first event is here at this gospel event on the square in Oakland, California. It's here that they begin to raise awareness of the black hair issue and promote a hair show.
I'm from Dallas. I got my hair from Korean Beauty Supply.
What do you think about what they're trying to do?
I think that is great. I am just like so on board with that. We are a black-owned beauty supply, and what we are, $10 in Dallas, in Texas. We are like all about supporting black-owned businesses, and we complain about that a lot, that there aren't any black-owned beauty supplies in Texas. So, you know, I think it's great. I think it's great. I think it's about time.
I just think it's very interesting. I got a little information about it. They had a little line card that gave me names of different people in different areas, which is very helpful. And then they are under association with, these are reputable hairdressers. So, and that's important to me because your hair is important.
If this generation goes, no beauty supply, we can forget it. We can forget it. Nobody will come up. We're just barely scratching the surface trying to say, hey, wait, you can't take that from me. Hey, wait a minute, I'm a part of this. What are you doing? They won't have the know-how or the power to be able to go into that because it'll be totally dominated by Koreans. Totally dominated.
Richmond, California. The members of BOBSA are meeting here in the back room of a local beauty supply store.
Black men positive ad in the magazine that we saw. Okay, so the total amount to $2,700.
And finalized plans and a budget for the black hair show they're promoting in just a few weeks.
You see, we have a balance there. It's a simple, little durable book because it's gonna need to be passed around, and it has our name and.
Okay, everyone take a look up here. This is the representative of the beginning stages of our BOBSA organization. These are the people that are working to make a difference and make a change. Action speaks louder than words. These people are taking action. They're taking the first step, and we need to continue this. So let's give them a round of applause.
This is the first BOBSA hair show, held in Northern California.
Thank you everyone for attending. We really appreciate your time, and we hope we made a difference in your thought pattern.
funny thing happened in New York. I went into a Korean store and asked him if he could wholesale me some of the things he had. He told me no. I said, okay, if you could tell me where I could get it wholesale. He told me the Koreans are not going to let these niggas get into the business. You know? And he's in a black neighborhood in Brooklyn.
He was Korean himself?
Yeah. He's a Korean hair store.
You think black people can get back into the
Oh, they could get back, but the Koreans not going to let us in it. We have to do it ourselves.
It's great because our money should be kept in the community. And buying outside, buying with different ethnic groups, and they're not recycling money back into our communities. And this way it's staying in our community.
Oh, it's beautiful, 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 beautiful. I love it, I love it, I love it.
Clintex Laboratories is one of a handful of black-owned manufacturers. Currently, their brand of product is only distributed through hair salons here in the United States. Besides making their own brand of products, they also act as a manufacturer for others.
This is our compounding area. This is where we manufacture all of our products. This is where I first started. When I quit my job, I went and bought these 2 stainless steel drums and started in the basement of my home. After the batch was made, I would take a measuring cup, go in and fill each bottle one at a time. This is a regular relaxer. The percent of sodium hydroxide is 1.9%.
Even after more than 20 years in business, Steve Luster is unable to get distribution for his products from any of the Korean distributors.
I do not blame the Koreans for anything. It's totally the black consumers, the black business people, the black churches. It's our fault because we have not taken the time to educate our people on economics, on what we need to be doing to assure that we have jobs, that we have a sound business practice. We haven't taken time to do that.
If there were 2 products and one product was $2 cheaper at the Korean store than a black-owned store, where would you shop?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'll be honest with you. Where would you shop?
$2 cheaper, I'll probably shop at the Korean store.
Thanks very much.
I couldn't get a loan for business, but as you can see, I am in business today. Okay? So you cannot depend on the government for a handout, and you cannot depend on people to help you. We have enough power as a group. If we have the ability to work together and pull together, we have enough economical resources within our race and our communities to turn this thing around.
What do you think about the idea of a boycott?
I think it would be a wonderful thing. I think that would be a thing that would get a lot of people's attention. I think a boycott would change the situations and where they are now. Like with the Koreans, for example, if they don't want to sell certain African Americans hair and whatnot for their business so that they can continue to progress, a boycott, stopping the dollars, would get everybody's attention.
The story continues with members of BOPSA traveling across the country, including here in Pasadena, California, where they're informing people about the black hair industry,
network, the station
including showing them parts of the film that you've seen to this point.
Where does the money go? Unemployment in the black community is 10%, in the white community is 5%. The only way we're going to change this trend is to look to each other to circulate that black dollar back into the black community.
We have the power. I know we have the power. It's just a matter of us going forth and doing it.
Next stop, Atlanta, Georgia. then on to Chicago, Illinois. Is the black hair situation in Chicago the same as on the West Coast? Here in Chicago, I randomly select one block in the south side of Chicago. And it's here that I find not only one, but 4 Korean-owned beauty supply stores on the same block, all within 100 feet of each other.
Look at this. This shows how this store is 33 years old, part of the history. But I have to replace with some of these hairs.
Excuse me, girls. What town am I in?
We're in Chicago.
Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago.
And let's see your hairdo. Let's see it. Whoa, turn around. Who did that?
My mom.
Wow. Now, I see a beauty supply store right across the street.
Yeah.
Is that black owned or Korean owned?
I think that's Korean owned.
Sorry?
Korean owned.
What do you think about the Koreans owning all the black beauty supply stores?
Well, it's very not good because I think the black people should be able to own some things, and just not all Koreans should be able to own. But I think because why they're not doing it is because discouragement, and most black folks, they're really just like going to jail now because other people are convincing them to do other different things like crimes and different stuff like that. So that's why.
How many black-owned beauty supply stores are there in Chicago that you know of?
I don't.
How long have you been in the business?
Like 14 years ago. Yeah, 14. You know, just like something like this.
How many black-owned beauty supply stores are there in Chicago?
How many?
Yeah, black-owned.
I think so, over 10. Yeah. A lot of, more.
10 stores.
Oh, over 10, I think, yeah.
And how many Korean-owned beauty supplies?
Koreans, so almost 80%. Maybe I think 300. 300 some different store. Like.
That's how the boys wear nowadays. They got braids.
Yeah.
This how they do.
Check it out. Close look. Close look.
Oh,
Eddie
get that
Kine from the
beat
Chi-Town West Side.
All right, let them know where you at.
Peace,
Rep your set. True.
Yeah. Now, Malcolm X talked about African-American women straightening their hair, didn't he? What do you have to say about that?
Well, that was a situation back then that was occurring at the time. It was just a lack of education and misunderstanding of things. But he didn't mean what exactly like that. If you get in depth into things, he don't exactly mean that as straight as trying to be like white women. He's trying to show them a way that to know your roots first, and you can do anything you want to. But as long as you know your roots, can't nobody tell you nothing, and you always gonna be something.
He just spit that knowledge, G, brother.
And the situation doesn't seem much different here in Oakland, California, where there are only a handful of black-owned stores and over 40 Korean-owned stores. Including this Korean shop that just recently opened up next door to Oakland's famous Black Muslim bakery. San Mateo, California. It's here that BOBSA, the Black-Owned Beauty Supply Association, has its first annual Unity Dinner.
And as the saying goes, united we stand.
I think we all need to stick together because it's sad that these Koreans are making so much money off of us and they're not giving back anything to the community. They're not even really giving us jobs. And it's just, we have to do something. I think we should start a huge boycott and try to spread the word, do a strong media campaign where we don't go into their salons, and I guarantee you they'll start giving us more respect. And we need to start opening up more black beauty supply stores, and we just need to all stick together.
We as blacks, we
are only 11 or 12% of the total population. Yet we are consumers of over 33% of all the hair care products sold in this country. And that's why they settled in our neighborhoods. And they specialize in hair. We are 80% of the purveyors of hair, the users of hair. So that's why they came into our neighborhoods. And I can't be mad at them because we left that market laying right out there in the street, and they came along and picked it up. So don't encourage anybody to throw a rock through a Korean beauty supply store, okay?
I think now, though, and I see so much vibrancy here, and especially with this new organization, you've got a new feeling of togetherness that we don't even have on the East Coast. And to the fact that you have decided that it's time now to forget the mistakes we've made, especially with the Koreans, who were smart enough to know that they couldn't make it with the white companies. They would not get across those big white distributors who represented the major white lines like Redken, Matrix, Paul Mitchell. They couldn't cut it. They were ostracized. And so they turned to us who were open, young, and probably didn't realize the value of our industry. And they made it big with us. But we've got to forget that now. It's hard. And we've got to outsmart what is out there. And let's go together to do it.
And who knows what'll happen tomorrow? I'm just gonna stay in the game, and if for no other reason, to see what happens next.
What will the future of the black hair industry be? Can BOBSA and the African American community be successful in taking back part of this industry? It's ironic but true that the first American woman self-made millionaire was an African American named Madam C.J. Walker, who earned her fortune through the manufacture and distribution of black hair products. This is an update to my original black hair documentary. The black hair documentary established the Korean takeover of the black beauty supply industry and how a group of African Americans were inspired by the film to create BOBSA, the Black-Owned Beauty Supply Association. Their goal? To take back the black hair industry and keep the African American dollar in the neighborhoods in which it's spent. Now, here's an update to the original film. It begins in Atlanta, Georgia, where members of BOBSA, Black-Owned Beauty Supply Association, attend the nation's largest black hair expo. It's here that BOBSA wants to educate people on the need for black-owned beauty supply stores. Me, I'm heading there to document what they're doing and to see if the Koreans have a presence at this prestigious show. BOBSA members give out information, hats, and copies of my black hair documentary.
I'm from BOBSA. Pleased to meet you. Yeah.
I want you to get in touch with me. Call me maybe next week.
Okay, fine.
Call me.
I will.
I want to be a part
part of it. Okay, yeah, I will. I'll call you.
I want to be a part of it.
Oh, yeah, you are a part of it.
All right?
Okay.
Don't forget.
I won't. I'll call you.
What about the Korean presence? Do they have a grip on this convention? It looks like they do.
Lovely to have Brandy.
Sure. Very happy.
You like having Brandy?
Sure, very happy.
We stop pushing. We gotta go. Right? We like Brandy. Right on. Keep it going. The Brandy signature line of hair is from
In an effort to see how far the Korean influence spreads, I traveled to Houston, Texas, the Sunnyside district. Yes, black cowboys.
Houston, Texas, y'all.
Houston, Texas. All the way.
In front of a Korean-owned beauty supply, no less. And the story is the same here as I've discovered across the country. In a neighborhood that needs black jobs and economic development, with some of the biggest retail business and growth, black beauty supply stores, none of which are owned by African Americans. And it looks like hair is very big in Texas, very big.
It seems to me there's like 8 beauty supply stores in these 3 blocks.
Well, we've been in the business 22 years, so.
23 years?
22.
22 years. Oh. Are you in the hair business, sir?
I'm preparing.
What is his story?
He's gonna open the beauty salon, beauty shop.
Here in Houston?
Yes.
Are you helping him get it together?
Yes, it's my brother-in-law.
Your brother-in-law?
Right.
And how long has he been here from Korea?
1 month.
1 month.
Yeah.
When do you expect his store to be open?
Next month.
Next month?
But what happens when African Americans do open a store? Does the community support them? And how do the Koreans react? The story, it's quite simple. There's been a black beauty supply store at this mall for over 22 years. And 3 years ago, it was purchased by Rhonda Jones and her husband, who mortgaged their home and bought this black beauty supply store from its original owners. Less than 6 months ago, a Korean-owned beauty supply store opened up 6 doors away in the same mall.
And they opened up how close to you?
About 6 doors away. Between 6 and 10 doors away.
And when did they open up?
They opened up the beginning of this year.
The only reason I think that they opened up next door is because Rhonda, this store has doubled their business in the last year. She started running radio advertising, and they got word that she was doing a fantastic business out here. Before, they didn't even worry about it. So I think that's the reason that they decided to come out here.
I feel like they came here to this area to benefit from the reputation and clientele of this store. That's what I think. Yeah.
In an effort to educate consumers, Rhonda's been giving out copies of my documentary, Black Hair, more than 2,000 copies of the DVD. I go over to Ebony's Beauty Supply, and it turns out that the owner has seen the movie also.
White button. Why did you decide to open up 6 doors away from L&L? I mean, why did you choose this location? I mean, why did you choose to do that?
I want to know that you are Black Beauty Association works you make today?
I'm a documentary filmmaker.
Documentary,
and I'm filming everything.
You make a PNB Association some CD like that.
Have you seen the documentary Black Hair?
30 minutes. Yeah.
Yes, that's my film.
You read this.
What is this?
You think this is a pen?
What is this? Let me take a look here.
they're gonna do just a weeks ago. You know, try to 3 young lady hiding to outside. You know, that's provided this my customers. Into the customers, they're gonna give it to this one. What do you think this one?
I don't know.
Even I can do. You say you Korean guys, bad guys. You know, like make a film like that. No man, we are working hard. My older people are more working hard. They build up the business right now. That's why they wanna get the all 90% whatever you DVD told them. 90%, 99% doesn't matter. You know, they are all lose life, all lose, you know, family. They don't have time. They're not gonna enjoy anything. Just that they are working for the new generation.
Someone has tried to set fire to Ebony Beauty Supply 3 times in the last 6 months. Vicksburg, California, the police department. Sam Enan, president of BOPSA, arrives for an interview with a fire department arson investigator to discuss the situation at Antioch Plaza.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be cleared up.
Did you expect any, violence to accompany BOPSA? I mean, is this something you thought might happen, that people would react violently after watching the video?
Not really. It's more economics than anything else. You know, we want to enlighten the black community economically.
Hi, Mr. Enan?
Yeah, right.
Come on, back. I'm Investigator Martinez.
Right, I'm Martinez.
Hi, how you doing, Mr. Enan?
The board member of BOPSA.
Okay, hi, Mr. Enan. This is just strictly an interview with me and you.
Okay.
I don't need to talk to anybody
So
out
you don't want any?
He doesn't need to come in?
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. That's fine.
Can I come in?
No, you can't.
Can I talk to the detective that we spoke to this morning?
If he's here, you can ask.
My name is Lieutenant Brian Addington. I'm with the Pittsburgh Police Department. We are investigating a series of arsons that occurred on Atlantic Plaza. The first one occurred on December 9th, 2005 at Ebony Beauty Supply. We had another one, attempt arson that occurred on January 9th, 2006 at Ebony Beauty Supply, and another arson that occurred on January 19th, 2006 at Radio Shack right next to Ebony Beauty Supply.
So this is where the fire started?
Inside, no, starting it, see?
That's where the fire started, huh?
Yeah, over there.
It is an ongoing investigation. There have been 2 arrests that have been made. We do have additional suspects, but being that it is an ongoing investigation, we're not going to comment any further on any additional witnesses that we may have or reasons why we would interview them.
DVD, films, police got that.
The police have surveillance camera?
Yeah, camera, DVD. I made it.
So they, you were able to see who did it on camera?
Right. So, that's why police catch him.
We're not going to comment on the source of evidence. The case has been reviewed by the District Attorney's Office, and criminal charges alleging arson have been filed by the District Attorney's Office against both those 2 individuals.
Appreciate you coming down and talking to me.
Oh, they want to know what the connection with BOPSA and L&L. And L&L is a member of BOPSA. Evidently, Rhonda's husband has been arrested. He's still under investigation. Is that a dumb thing he did if he did that? I mean, huh? Right here. That was dumb if he did do that. I mean, that don't make any sense. I didn't know he was that kind of street.
Now, I was just at the police department interviewing them, and they actually mentioned that your husband is a suspect. What do you think about that?
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. That's what I think.
Is there anything you have to say about?
No, I'm not going to say anything. If my husband is a suspect in a crime, who is a person who's never been arrested, never even been in a police car, of course I don't have anything to say about anything like that. I mean, that's very serious. That's very serious. And I would, you know, of course I don't have anything to say about that.
Members of BOBSA visit Ebony Beauty Supply.
Did you say you cannot open business Pittsburgh?
No, I didn't say that. No. I didn't say that. No, I did not say that.
Okay, whatever.
No problem. No, but I didn't think you were going to come right here, you know, because my friend was over there, and then he moved over here, and then now he's over there by Food for Less.
Stress, huh? You know, how much stress? November 1st, you know,
Yeah.
three times
Yeah.
to set on the fire inside.
Yeah, but I didn't know anything about it. I really didn't know anything about it until I came over here and saw you. What you guys, when things calm down a little bit,
okay,
we'll talk. Okay, because it's not worth it.
All right.
When you agree? When you agree? When you agree? Don't give me a hand. Give me a handshake, Rick. Come on, you do better than that.
BOBSA creates a forum to discuss the challenges of owning black-owned beauty supply stores here in the United States.
One of the key factors that we've missed out on is our consumer base. We gotta get our people to consciously turn and focus in on what is needed for our economic revitalization.
I remember that I can make as much money with as many products as I can make, and it never went through anybody but black hands. It went from to black distributors, to black salons, to black clients, you know? And I never had to even see an outside dollar and was happy with it. Now, if I don't sell to Koreans, you know, my kid's not going to college. And if we had more black distributors, more black beauty supply houses, that would solve a big portion of it.
Yes, we can. Make a difference. Make a difference.
Later on that evening, BOBSA has its annual Unity Dinner.
United we stand. United we stand. Divided we fall. Divided we fall. We are united. I thank you and consider the Black Dots connected.
But is unity enough? Where are the rap stars, entertainers, and sports figures? Why haven't they stepped to the plate and delivered economic assistance to the disenfranchised black neighborhoods of America? Will they see the opportunity in the black hair business for microeconomic development to help African Americans and keep the dollar in their neighborhoods?